With Plan B emergency contraception, we're in control of our future. It's backup birth control you take after unprotected sex that helps prevent pregnancy before it starts. It works by temporarily delaying ovulation, and it won't impact your future fertility. Plan B is available in all 50 U.S. states at all major retailers near you, with no ID, prescription, or age requirement needed. Together, we've got this. Follow Plan B on Insta at Plan B One Step to learn more. Use as directed.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to a brand...
We're going to do our intro.
Yeah, my intro is, you can never trust a Meghan. That is the theme of this episode. I don't know what the theme, if we're going to meet Meghan, but that was said on this show twice.
The way that it was, like, nonstop, I was like, oh, ooh, I was just catching strays sitting on my couch. I was shocked and offended that, like, first of all, getting name checked as a Meghan, like, on TV, like, it's not the 90s anymore. Like, it's just the 2000s. Like, it's not happening. Like, you're not seeing a lot of Meghans like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then to find out that, no, Meghan is someone who you could never trust. And then everyone's like, that's what I've always said. What? Fucked up.
Yeah. They said it in this episode 2 times. So I feel like if we keep watching the show, it's just going to keep getting more and more.
Like
and the first time I heard it,
gag.
I laughed. And then the second time is when I sent you the text message and I said, I know exactly how I'm going to intro the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't give you anything to let you know what it would be. And then this morning when I woke up to use the bathroom at 5 a.m., I had a text from Mott's, which was shocking. I had to make sure that there wasn't anything happening. And it said, never trust a Meghan. Or what did he say? He said,
let's see. He said, can I trust a Meghan?
Yeah.
Fucked up.
And then I said, word on the cul-de-sac is never. And so I was, at first when I read what it said, because I was very confused because I was just waking up, because 5 o'clock here is 3 there, 3 in the morning there. So that I was very delirious, and I hadn't really slept that much because I don't like to sleep before I fly because I like to be sleepy on the plane. So I hadn't slept that much. Very confused, but then I laughed and responded back. But we are reviewing the television show from Peacock that debuted on February 8th called The Burbs, which is a remake of the 1989 cult classic film by the same name, starring Tom Hanks, which is why we see Tom Hanks in this show.
Okay, because I was like, Tom Hanks, what a fucking pull! What?
Yeah, it's just a picture of a man from the 1980s, and they show a picture of Tom Hanks, but it's because he was in the film.
Okay, that I'm gonna have to tell Matt that because we could not figure that out.
We're just doing the first episode, which is called The Goddamn Brownies,
and I feel like I saw a couple things about this because you know me and primetime network television. I love, a network television vibe. And this has a network television vibe.
I was going to say, I think NBC realized the mistake they made with the Garden Society. That's the show that you liked. I think they realized that mistake and put this on Peacock instead of what they did with that show.
I started getting ads for the Burbs after that show, which I loved, was canceled so quickly. And so I feel like I saw a lot about it before it came out. It was like on my calendar, like gotta watch it. And I'm a little worried. I haven't been seeing as many conversations about it in general.
Everybody on Twitter was talking about it.
Oh, thank God.
Yes,
currently,
everybody was. I don't know about currently, but when the show first came out, because, I mean, it's been out for a month now, or 2 months now.
Oh, well, you're right. No, so they did all episodes dropped then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All episodes dropped. It was it was 2 months ago at the point of we're recording this, and people were talking about this show.
Okay, then that's fine, because right now I just get so paranoid about these shows that I'm loving that I think a lot of people are, like, missing out on. The same thing with...
The one with the 2 girls?
Yeah.
Ponies.
Ponies. Same thing with ponies. And I'm like, damn. But as soon as this started, I said, oh, network TV is back. And I mean that positive, parentheses, positive connotation.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, when people talk about like, oh, they hate shows of like how streaming, the lighting on them or how they're shot or whatever, you have to understand that like then stop shitting on like network, stop shitting on shows that you're like, oh, this feels like it was shot on a soundstage. Like stop shitting on stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like a multicam kind of setup, but like TV's supposed to be campy. If you don't want it to look like it's filmed on an iPhone, then like embrace the camp and embrace the cringe and the performance and like the spectacle and production of it. So I loved it and I cannot wait to get into it.
I absolutely love this show. This is my kind of show where there's a mystery, but it's also got funnies in there and it doesn't take itself seriously. But it's also has a message behind it and is dealing with serious issues, but it's not heavy-handed at all.
And it's also not, which I think is great, is quote-unquote good white people are still white people. It's not like being like, so happy she's got, like, it's like, no, they're still saying and doing stupid shit, but there's so many more comedic aspects to it because you have people that you're laughing at, people you're laughing with. And I think that's like great writing on a show.
Yeah. So it's starring Keke Palmer as Samira Fisher and Jake Whitehall as Rob Fisher. And Jack Whitehall, that is what I have written down. I just said
perfect.
Jake.
I was about to say that actually answers my next question, which was, do you know who this man is?
No.
Well, no, I didn't need to ask that because you called him Jake. So it started in Mott's way, who is this man? And I was like, what are you talking about? Who is this man? And that's how last night I found out that Jack Whitehall is not famous to, like, he is like not someone who Mott's knew, which made no sense to me because I'm like, he's on the Graham Norton show like every week and Mott's loves the Graham Norton show. I didn't think you would necessarily know who he is, but I thought there's a chance because he hosts award shows and he's like a stand-up comedian. But I don't think I've ever seen him act besides like he did like a small, he was in Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I'm looking at what he does and nah.
I think of him more of like the comedy.
He plays he's the voice of the priest in Frozen. But he's uncredited.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to be Jake. Jack.
He's been nominated for a lot of stuff. He's won
British.
A couple British comedy awards. Yeah,
and then Mott didn't know what the Brits were. And I was like, he just hosted the
I
Brits.
know that.
He was like, what are the Brits? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, is this your first day on Earth? My God.
That I know. But, okay. Oh, he was married to Gemma Chan. No longer married to him.
Nope.
But
he's got a baby with some other lady.
Roxy Horner. They're engaged.
And so this is everybody's his name is Jack, but you can call him Jake here.
Okay. The story follows Samira and Rob, who move with their newborn baby, which is a very cute little baby.
Very cute baby. So not a newborn, but very cute.
Into Rob's childhood home in the suburban neighborhood of Hinkley Hills. They have
the East Coast, right?
Yeah, they left New York to move there. And Samira is a litigator who is currently on maternity leave and is a little disoriented with postpartum and a move. Two very big things that are they do a lot on you mentally and physically. She also has a brother who is in her
gorgeous
apartment. I was like, put a bassinet in here.
Also, like, I'm sorry, get a night nurse, get a nanny. Yeah. Like, you got this gorgeous apartment. I don't think you need the suburbs. I just think hire an extra
and sell the house. Just because his parents moved did not mean that you have to move into their old house. They're going to live on a fucking cruise ship. They're one of those people.
I was like, oh my God, I know those kinds of people. Like, ooh, okay. And all I have to say is, like, I'm really happy for her that that's what her in-laws are. They're at sea.
Yeah. I do wonder, though. It made me think of real life of those people. Remember when they were selling those cruise ships for 4 years for people to go live on throughout the Trump presidency? How's that going?
Did people do it? All I know is Mott's godparents went on like a couple week-long cruise to I don't know, everywhere. Antarctica? I don't know. Like it was a big one. And all I know is that his godfather, she like specifically befriended like people. There's like people from, it's a small boat. Like it was like not, it was like a cruise ship, but it was like a yacht. I don't know. It was like small. And she just befriended all of these women who hardly spoke English, but had like beautiful outfits and like, as she said, really beautifully wrapped candy. Because she goes, I gotta try that. I gotta be friends with them, so they give me something. And they did. And she was like, oh my God, we got along so well. I love them. They had their like beautiful fur coats and like all this stuff. But it was like, she was saying that it was like cast by like a sitcom casting director. Like it was, you just had so many different kinds of people. There was like not a singular archetype. So I do wonder if that's real, if that is like for just shorter haul ones, or if even that still feels like an episode of like Modern Family.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, people were talking about this being like, oh, this feels like it's going to be like, is this going to be like Pretty Little Liars? No, this in fact is a mix of Desperate Housewives and Scream Queens.
Yeah.
And Scream Queens, another show, not appreciated in its fucking time. Now you have a chance and opportunity to participate in the Scream Queens of current day.
Yeah. And the first minute, I was slightly like, am I going to like this show? Because I was like, what the heck are they talking about? Because they're just very mundane conversation. But as we get more into it, I thought it was actually very smart with how they introduced it. And even Keke doing like a nod to back that ass up. And then we actually hear it in the car a few minutes later. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mott's was like, they spent so much money on Keke Palmer and the Tom Hanks, but now we know it wasn't the Tom Hanks, probably not as much. And the music. Like, the music is phenomenal in it.
Yeah. So, what does her husband do?
He is a book editor.
Okay.
So that's why he's taking the train into New York, works in publishing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
I got confused. It also took me a while to understand why a British man was like living in these suburbs. My
next door neighbors were British.
Like, how old were they?
The kids were my age. They're some of my age, and then
but how old were you?
I was in high school, so like it makes sense.
So they moved in at high school age.
They moved when we were in junior high, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they're British, and then the kids were British. So
yeah, the only one, because at first I assumed, because I was like, he's got way too thick of a British accent to have grown up in the States for that long. And so I think they say he moved in like middle school or high school, which makes more sense. And both of his parents are British, because I thought at first one would be American, one would be British.
Yeah.
And then he would have had a much more of like a mixed accent. But as soon as I saw the house that they are living in, I said, well, now I actually understand why you are making this move to this slightly spooky cul-de-sac. Beautiful home.
Yeah. Yep. And so we're on this cul-de-sac. There's a abandoned Victorian house that the lights keep glitching in.
Mm-hmm.
And Keke has seen it, but she's also seen a shadowy figure that no one else seems to be seeing. And there's also this mystery surrounding this girl named Allison Grant, who Rob is being very weird about. I'm like, was this his first kiss?
Yeah. You guys, by the way, guys, you're giving the energy that you killed her when you're being weird about this. And this to me is the most accurate so far of the entire very campy and, dramatic show, is two men who are like not asking any follow-up questions. They're not doing any of that. They're not giving any information. And they're thinking that is going to fly with the woman who is at home all day by herself with the baby staring at a creepy Victorian home. You think she's going to take
a litigator?
You think that she's going to take no, I don't really know much about it. You think she's going to take your word for it and then not? And they're constantly shocked when she's finding out things about it. Oh, okay. I was like, that's wild. I did think, though, this has been a realization to me. And I know that I don't live in the suburbs. Like now, I don't live in the suburbs. This was also a realization to me that I didn't grow up in the suburbs either. Marin is not, like this is not.
I grew up in the suburbs in a cul-de-sac as well. So, like, I actually, I think I told you about this, but when I was in college, I did in communications class, I did a speech on my cul-de-sac.
Ah.
And also, like, I compared it to Desperate Housewives, like, that was like, comparing different
Mhm.
people in the neighborhood to characters on Desperate Housewives, and also having a mystery death where
Yeah.
a old lady disappeared. I remember
Oof.
coming home like, this, like, old lady would go on walks all the time, I'd see her all the time, and then coming home, and the cops are just all around. This was when I was in high school, cops were everywhere and, like, stopped and asked me if I seen anything. I was like, "I've been in school, I haven't seen
Holy
anything."
shit.
Then when I was in college, the week that I give my presentation, they find her. Her body was in her backyard, her son had killed her. So that was 4 years later.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. People talk about, like, Marin being a suburb of, like, San Francisco. It's, like, not in the way that this is,
Mhm.
and, like, this whole thing, I was like, "Holy shit, this is, like, culturally, like, this is, like, such a shift that, like, I felt like I didn't grow up in a city, but, like,
Mhm.
I don't know what the alternative is to
It's
that
also, I mean,
aspect."
you're in a suburb, but there's also the neighborhoods, the subdivisions within the suburbs, and this is a subdivision within the suburb.
Yes.
And so when you're in those neighborhoods, like my neighborhood was called like Southwind Terrace, and each street is named after Gone with the Wind. Like that is the kind of
Wow.
neighborhood that I was in.
Ooh. Woo. Spooky. Spooky, spooky, spooky. So I just thought that this captured it, like, so I felt like her the whole time, and I wasn't even a city kid. I was like, "What the
Mhm.
fuck is going?" Like, the neighbors, I'm like, "What the fuck is this shit? Like, this is
No,
so
like
weird."
people brought over when I moved in, people brought in any neighborhood we moved into when I was a kid, people like brought over food when we first moved in. Now I know it's just for a way for them to be
She
nosy, but like
Yeah.
it just felt very welcoming. Even one of my high school friends, named Jennifer Walker, she didn't even live in our neighborhood, but one of our friends did, and or another friend that later became my friend, and they, like, made cookies and brought them over to me, and then, like, at school were very nice to me.
Wow. Yeah, that and because Mott's also he didn't grow up in a suburb too, so we are both like, this is weird. Like,
Mhm.
this is such an odd thing, and I can't even imagine, like, going away to, like, a big city and then coming back to that life, and I think
Yeah.
they play the comedy of it, like, really well, but, like, everything I've read or heard about suburbs, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they're making this in a comedic way, but, like, it still has all
Yeah.
those aspects of it."
Yeah, and it felt very familiar to me.
Oh, I mean, you said the Gone with the Wind streets, and I was like, "Okay, so you lived on this cul-de-sac with all of
Mhm.
these these white
Yes.
people." Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's so fucking it's a different
We
cultural experience.
like, every holiday, there was some, like, neighborhood type thing, but the one that I remember the most was on Halloween. It was called like, you'd get booed. So, like, the week of or the month of October, you'd show up and there'd be, like, a ghost printout on your door, but then, like, a whole bunch of candy, and then, like, you do it to people in the neighborhood, but you never told who you were getting or what was doing. It wouldn't work now because everybody has a Ring camera,
Yeah.
but, like, maybe
You
they
got
could do
booed.
it somewhere, but it was, like it was funny, but it was, like, a way that neighbors were connecting with each
Yeah.
other.
I didn't even like, neighbors as a kid growing up, like, they were far away and, like,
Yeah,
they
like,
were old.
Christmas caroling was real.
Wow. I am so lucky. Like, imagine if and maybe this is why the first time we were looking at houses, I was like, I guess I should, like, go look in the, like, houses in the valley. And then I was like, no, no. And I was like, okay, I thought I was like a suburb girl because, like, I was like, that's where I grew up. I grew up in the suburbs. It's a suburb of San Francisco. And even going to, like, even certain parts of Studio City, I was like, no, I cannot live here. I cannot live here. I cannot live here. And I'm like, oh, okay, I actually don't have any experience in a suburb, like,
Yeah.
whatsoever.
She later confides that to her brother that maternity leave has left her feeling reckless because she no longer has a clear project or direction. So now her project is this house. Her curiosity about the house across the street becomes the thing that she focuses on.
And she decides that she gets approached while she's in the car with her baby. And I was like, oh, God, I do not want to have one of those kids that can only fall asleep in a car. And she meets one of her neighbors for the first time.
Lynn,
who's like, oh, you must be so-and-so. I heard you were here.
Well, first she's like...
Oh, yeah. First why is this?
Very much Karen of like, are you lost? What are you doing? Oh, should that baby be listening to this music? That kind of stuff while she's listening to back the ass up. And then it slowly dawns on her who this woman is married to, Keke is married to.
Yes.
She's like, oh, I heard you were
here.
I
heard you were here. Of course, this is you. You're here. You're here. And Keke's like, we know what you're saying. Got it. But she decides to give the neighbors essentially a chance because she invites her to come for like a wine night. And after she's talked to her brother, it's like, yeah, she doesn't have much here. And this is difficult and hard. And is like, okay, I guess I'll like give it a shot. They're trying. And also she hears from her husband's best friend who also grew up on the cul-de-sac, who he also has a great line because his wife, Meghan, is cheating on him with a dentist. So Naveen says, yeah, she kept saying that she needed to get a filling. Which that made me laugh out loud.
Twice a week? Okay, cool.
I was like,
cool.
Okay. But Naveen tells Samira, basically like, people here are, and she's like, people here are weird. And he was like, people here are nice. People here pretend to be nice until eventually they actually become nice. Which I was like, oh, wow, that felt like a perfect summation of the energy that this was giving, that I was like, oh, yes, okay. And basically says that to her, being like, give them a chance. Like, you know, they're pretending right now, but eventually it becomes like truth. So she meets the rest of the wine gang on the porch.
Yeah. Dana, who was a retired Marine. She's very funny. She's one of the writers from SNL during like the Tina Fey era.
I recognized her.
Yeah, and she's on, which I know you haven't watched, but
Hacks. Is she on Hacks?
She's on Girls Forever.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so she's one. The funny thing about that show is none of them are actually the same age, so they're all just pretending like they grew up together, which is really funny too, because they have someone, even though the other ladies are playing younger versions of herself, they have somebody completely different playing a younger version of her, which makes it even funny.
I love that.
In the flashbacks and stuff, but she's so funny. Like,
okay, I need to watch that show.
Yeah, it's really good. And then also Todd, who eccentric is a good way to describe him.
He is like giving like he's very mole-like. He's very like lives in the ground energy. Do you know what I mean?
A man of few syllables is how they describe him.
Yes, he gives like he was like a digging style rodent who was given a wish to be a human.
Yeah,
and like is just observing.
And even Samir tries to shake his hand and he rubs her hand instead.
Yes, it's very...
And it's not like in a like sexual way. It's just like...
No, or in like a racist way of like, I'm not touching you. It's very much giving, hey, it's actually my first day on Earth.
Yeah, this is how we greet each other on my planet.
Yeah, on my planet full of mole people. Like, it's very like, it's like, oh, okay. Like, it's like the, in Spider-Man, when they have the digger mole guy who breaks into that and then they go underground. He's like, meet my people. He's actually one of those people.
Yep.
So, and we also, the ex-military is a lesbian. So we're getting like...
In real life too, and also on Girls Forever. So, yeah.
Hey, you know, life. And so this is the only people from the suburb we have like met so far directly, but it is very much like giving like they are somewhat of the misfits, or they are somewhat of like the... they're not the typical... as much of the cookie cutter suburb, even though they are, but it's just like a slightly different energy and vibe.
These are the ones that are at home during the day.
Yes. And it seems like they are the most recent additions to
Except for Dana. She's been there. Or not Dana, Lynn. Lynn.
But she's still, the other people have been there for like 20 plus years. And she's not been there that long, which.
Who are you saying hasn't been there?
The first woman who runs into her in the car.
She's been there. They
but
said
she hasn't
she's
been there as
longer.
long. She hasn't been there as long as Rob's family.
Yeah.
So I will say, though, I do relate to the fact that like the people who moved in more recently being friends with each other. Like you do that. You like peek out from your window and you're like, okay, like that's like my little clique. And we have like people who've been here longer who will like rotate in and out as like the guiding light of it. But like it's us. And I have to say, as the show went on, I was like, this, in fact, is me on my block. Like, I'm investigating.
You know, I used to just stand out.
Yes.
Unfortunately, now I do not live in the type of neighborhood where I can just stand out in my window and look upon the street. But this was me. Like, that's what I was doing. I knew everything that was happening.
That is, like, an important role that someone has to play. And I love when that gets to be reinforced. Like, that's my favorite. And so I was seeing myself, and I do need to tell my neighbor that I was like, this is us. And I'm so sorry, but, like, I'm not typecasting you. You are the lesbian in this. And like, this is us. And then being like, let's go do this. We don't necessarily have as many people who would like to
join the club.
They don't want to join. They don't want to participate. They want the information, but they don't want to participate. Versus me, last night, Mats comes home. I am sitting in complete darkness, staring out the window, and he goes, well, what the fuck's going on? And I go, there's a helicopter with a light, and be quiet. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I gotta know.
Later, we meet Rory, too, a 13-year-old who is a Girl Scout, but they don't call it Girl Scout. They call it something else. But she also offers her services for babysitting. This girl is a professional 13-year-old.
Yeah, she's a notary public as well.
Yes. Which I didn't know that was happening, but I laughed.
Made me laugh out loud. I was like, that is so funny.
Yeah, but she's also Black, which I think is a good thing to note. And so we'll see, like, are her parents also Black? What are we dealing with later, too? So I'm interested to see where that goes, too.
Yeah, the writing is really great. It feels like they're giving a lot of like Easter eggs and like build up to all of this. And that this is, like you said, like she needs a project, and this
thought it was the perfect setup for, you've got a woman that is a lawyer, so she is inquisitive, but she just had a baby, and she's on maternity leave, so she's going to be home for a while. Like, this is the perfect setup for this show.
100%. And then you have an ex-Marine whose wife is overseas working, so she's bored. And then you have a recent widow. And then you have a man from the mole.
Yeah.
From the molehill.
From under the ground.
Yeah, you have that. So you have people who are all kind of like checking off different boxes of figuring this shit out, but who all have the time, energy, and the boredom to deep dive into this. So her husband's being cagey as she's asking questions about this house, and like everything is surrounding about this house. I will say I was pleasantly surprised with her chemistry with him.
Yeah.
But she has
chemistry, everybody.
Chemistry with anyone.
But still, yeah, they're good. And this is, she's not, I feel like in other things, like she's Keke, but she's also playing a version of Keke too. And in this, she's not playing a version of Keke.
No, and the writing of this feels like they're like, when they're laying in bed, their pillow talk, I'm like, it sounds so realistic. Like the circumstances and like the events that are happening aren't realistic, but like how people are responding to them are realistic, which I love that style of television and that style of writing. And so very quickly she bonds with these neighbors about this house, because it was like, what the fuck is this dilapidated house? Like, I have questions. Like, let's talk about this fucking house. And they're like, let's talk about this house. We also have fucking questions. And because none of these people, this is a very old suburb, and it seems like besides from these people, everybody else has been here for decades and decades, so they knew this family. And these are the only people who live on this suburb who don't know what the fuck happened, but they've got questions. Then Samira goes to the library to Google.
She's going to the archives. She wants to get the newspaper archives. She's not going to the library and Google. She's trying to find the information in the newspaper archives.
Okay. Yes. So when she was searching on the computer, I said,
and she couldn't
pull up your phone. Like, why?
She can't find the information online.
Yeah, they say the binder was checked out. And so
which is a lie.
All that information.
Because the library knows immediately that date
Well, and she also just stood there and, like, didn't look at anything and then comes back, "Sorry, it's been checked out." And it's like, okay.
You just know for certain that one binder's been checked out.
Liar. Liar, liar, liar. And now we find out that the house is for sale. Just after they've talked about this, being like, this house is, like, spooky, creepy, like, what happened here? And it's like, oh, I heard. Basically, it's like, well, I heard that someone was, there was, like, their daughter died. The people who owned this house, because it's abandoned, but it's still owned by these people. They haven't lived there in decades. It's just been, like, completely decrepit. And they use my favorite word, dilapidated. I love that word. It's so fun to say. And now it's for sale, and it's like, holy shit. It's like someone heard us talking about this. Like, this is crazy. And they're like, well, it's really, for sure, fucking haunted. We have a for sale sign. Now it's time to get a fucking tour.
You know how many houses I've been curious about, and I see it goes on sale? I'm there. Like, I'm going to buy it.
The way that I have houses on Zillow saved, I have no desire for that house, but I want to be able to circle back to it if it comes for sale, because I want to see the inside. Yeah. We love doing that. Just being like, a house for sale in our neighborhood, I go, yeah, I see what the inside looks like.
I first moved here, and I didn't have any friends yet, and I went to open houses all the time, creating characters.
So
it was
fun.
Great.
No, when we bought this house, the amount of people who I'd be like, oh, yeah, have you? And they were like, oh, we've seen this house. We looked just before you came in. I was like, we don't need to see it. And I was like, oh, you've already been here. You've done all this.
So it's Samira, Lynn, and Dana go, and immediately Lynn is like, yeah, our niece is buying a house. So these two white ladies.
These two blonde white ladies, and they're flanking her, and she's like, okay.
Yeah, this is the story we're going with.
Okay.
So they look around the house, and it's as creepy as you would think it would be.
Because it's being sold for as is.
Yeah.
Not staged. And we haven't even addressed or, covered up the seemingly scratch and claw marks on one of the doors. So it's very spooky. And the realtor,
also spooky. Where did he come from?
I don't know. He also seems spooky, but at the same time, he also seems like he's also spooked. Like, he's a little afraid.
Like, he saw something in there when nobody else was there.
And he's like, yeah, give yourself a tour. Like, go for it. Look around for yourselves. Go for it. That's fine.
As they're looking, the mole man is there, which jump scare. He is standing on. Yeah.
Taking pictures, as we've been told multiple times, don't take any photos. And he just looks at Keke and goes, and she's like, okay, fucking mole man, freak. Fine. But they look at it. She opens a closet door, which I was like, first of all, she just go upstairs. And I said, this house has not been lived in 20 years. Do not go on elevated surfaces.
And
dummy.
As she goes, it.
And I'm like, Anytime I start looking at houses, and it was like, yeah, like the house needs some work, and there's a deck. I'm like, don't walk on the deck.
No.
And he's like, what do you mean? I go, don't do that. Decks need a lot of maintenance and upkeep. If they're like, yeah, this house needs help, I promise you the deck is one of those things.
Even like my house on Savannah, like you had to constantly be moisturizing that bitch because it would rot. We didn't even live there that long.
Too wet or too dry, you're fucked. Like decks growing up, like we had 3 or 4 decks because like that house is built into a hill.
So was our house.
Yeah.
And so there was 3. Yeah, there were 3 decks. Yep.
And there were ones that I go, the distance between this and the guy, too far. Not going on that. Not going on that at all. So they are looking, and she opens a closet door in the kids' room. And we've now at this point, we've figured out that the person who died seemingly in the house was the kid, and she had gotten out of her boyfriend, or she had gotten it out of her husband, that her name was Allison, and she knew Naveen and Naveen?
Naveen.
She knew Naveen and Rob as kids. They all grew up here together, and she knows that her name is Allison. So opens the closet door and just sees the name Allison with a big cross out through it.
And there's hearts around it too.
Which is spooky.
Weird.
Spooky as fuck.
Weird. Also, while they're exploring, a light bulb bursts, and I'm like, it's time to get out of there.
Yeah. I would have never gone up the stairs. I'm not taking myself to a second location.
No.
Get downstairs. And also in pairs. Come on.
Yeah. The house is sold almost immediately. and they find out it was sold to a doctor who moves in at 2 a.m.
And the only thing he seemingly brings into the house is a body
Body?
bag?
Question mark?
It's very much the way that you would carry dead human weight.
Mm-hmm. And also the mole man says that there's so much security around the house, more than needs to be for a house.
And says that it's a level of you're either extremely like you're either running from something or you're like who you should be running from.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're either you've done something really bad or you're hiding from something really bad. And we also immediately the same things are happening in like before it was like lights flickering, shadow in the window, and it's like, okay, spooky. But now there's an actual man there where it's a little bit more, it's not just the shadow in the outline. No, there's a full man who's standing there. Spooky. So Samira's learning about the suburbs. So she's like, let me whip up a batch of brownies.
Those brownies look good too.
They look, and when they didn't get, and they were like, I wish I had some. I go, me fucking too.
Yeah.
Like I think
Naveen and Rob were sneaking brownies.
Yeah. They looked phenomenal. And she was like, I'm going to bake some brownies and I'm going to bring it over to the house. So like you said that people do just so I can meet this person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like as she crosses the threshold of like just getting onto the grass, like shit just gets creepier and spookier. And like immediately she puts it on the front porch and is like standing there.
She went to ring the doorbell, but then a camera moved over. So then she just left it on the porch.
Left it on the porch and watched pretty much all day, and her husband watched that they never went and got the brownies. No one came out to take them inside. And as then she went to go back over to be like, well, now I want, because at that point I probably would have done the same thing. They looked really fucking good. And it's like she steps on the grass again, and it's like almost as like the wind stops. Like it's just like.
I thought a hand was going to come out and grab her ankle.
It was the Scream Queen and all the heads were in the grass. I was like turning around. I thought we were going to see Leah Michelle's fucking noggin popping out of the turf. I was like,
imagine
yikes.
that.
That is,
I just forgot that Keke is also in Scream Queens.
Yes,
I know that, but I just forgot.
Well, I was waiting for who plays the security guard? Niecy
Nash.
Niecy Nash. I was waiting for there to be like a patrol and it'd be Niecy Nash full up, and I go, we are having a Scream Queens reunion.
Unfortunately, she went to a Kanye concert. We'll talk about that later.
So she goes to get the brownies, but then it's like, no, she just got like extra creepy, extra fast. And it's like you see, and she's doing a great job of the acting of like when she's inside her house being like, I'm just going to go over and talk to him and do that. And then as soon as she gets there, the energy shifts where she's like, no, I'm actually not going to do that.
She's also tired and postpartum as well.
Yes. Yeah, she's making decisions and then going, maybe I shouldn't do that. And her husband has left to take the baby on a drive so he can sleep because he needs to be in the car to fall asleep. And as she runs back to her house, realizes that the door is locked. And I was like, well, honestly, at that point of the suburbs, other people should have a key. Like, hide a key. Like, isn't that the whole point of the suburbs?
We were always accidentally not locking ourselves out. And we just go play until our parents got home.
Well, to me, I'm like, isn't the point of the suburbs is like you're not locking your door? Like, you're like, oh, what? I'm not that person.
Black people are locking the door.
Well, that's what I think is what I think everybody should be locking their doors. I think it's crazy when people do. There are people I know who'll be like, oh, come on, the door's open. And I'm like,
I'll unlock it if I know that you're in the driveway. But
no. Like they're like,
no.
They're at work and they're like, can you do this thing? Do me a favor. The house is open. Yep. And I go, well, would you like me to lock it up for you? Because that sounds scary. I won't even have like a key hook near my door.
Especially now that you can use the fob thing to hack people's door now or cars now. Because they know that people leave their keys up there.
That's so weird to me. Yeah. I've never understood that. And like mine was the opposite. Like it wasn't like I grew up in a place where like there was either a lot of crime or like a lot of people. So I'm actually more afraid of the fucking boogeyman. Like that's what I'm locking my doors because I'm like a monster is going to get me. I'm not worried about like, oh, so and so. Like I'm not worried about the humans. I'm worried about like alien. I'm worried about like anything like that. So I'm like, and I just need something that's going to slow them down because I live surrounded by trees, and like if someone hears me scream, they probably actually won't fucking hear me. Like spookier. Absolutely spookier. And thank God they like very much lock up their house in Denver, but also the mountain house. And I was like, thank you, because I don't know why people think that like, oh, we're very remote. Don't lock the door. No, that means that someone's breaking in. I don't know them.
Yeah, some people would do it if they live like in a remote place where they know people hike and can get lost, and so they'll leave it unlocked. So then people, like, if something happens and there's an emergency, but even then,
no, I'm not. With love, like.
You shouldn't have been hiking.
No, my fingers are crossed for you, and I hope things are. I'll leave you a blanket outside, but like I'm not leaving anything for you to come inside. The people who let Amazon deliver packages inside their home, huh? I don't want to put that liability on them either. Like it's just it's fucking spooky. So before we even get to this point, I'm at this of going, I would actually have to move because I don't like the look of this house.
We have a place. It's not like that they don't have a place to live.
No, we have a fucking gorgeous apartment in the city, and you mean to tell me that I'm already not even enjoying having to look at this ugly, dilapidated home. That's my view. Like this is spooky, and now there's a spooky man who lives here, and she's locked out of the house, and she awakens because we see the reflection of sirens across her face and like the lights and everything. And this man, the new neighbor, has called the cops on her, and the cops arrive saying, we heard that there was a black woman prowling this house multiple times today. And they come in, as they do, aggressive as fuck. And thankfully her husband comes home at that exact same time and is like, this is my wife. This is our house. This is you. You're off base here. They don't seem to care until we realize that the cop grew up with Rob and was like, oh my God, my buddy. Hey, what's up? Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. Now, do you recognize that cop?
Hold on. I did recognize him. But now I don't remember who it was, but I did recognize him in the moment.
So the way that you talked about how Keke was also in Scream Queens and like this ties back to the other show that we said this reminds us of. That's a Scavo twin. That's one of Lynette's kids.
Yes.
From Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives.
I was like, no way. I was like, that. And like, I know that's not, he's an actor. He works still. He has worked since. They're probably two of the child actors who like have really steadily worked on TV still. And I don't think it was a nod to that, but
it might have been.
Did feel like that to me. I was like, oh my God, we've got a suburb boy, grown up cop patrolling the suburb again.
And her kids would turn into cops. I think we do
find out. Oh my God, without a doubt, the Scavo kids.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I actually was going to go back and watch it because I didn't watch it because it was on when I was in college and, I was busy doing other things. You didn't watch any Desperate Housewives? No, I didn't watch the last couple seasons. But the first seasons, I was obsessed with everything. But I need to finish the last couple seasons.
I've never finished it either. But, and also because, like, I mean, it's all good. Like, it's one of those things, like, it's not, like, unfinished if you don't finish.
Yes.
It's not like it's a build-up. Like, every episode itself, like, standalone is very good.
Yeah. So then they are pretty much like, we got to get out of here. But
well, all the neighbors show up and they go, we heard what happened. And so you have the quote unquote good white people coming in here going, I cannot believe this in this suburb. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And they're all like, we're going to sleep here all night. We're sleeping in shifts.
Yeah. They come inside with them. It's actually a very sweet moment because they all are a little lonely in their own way. But so they actually do like want this community. And
they are all, I think for them, they all feel like, because the idea that I get from the older white woman whose husband had passed is that this is a very old cul-de-sac and these are like people and families have been here for a while. So like she was like one of the new ones. And clearly if she's only friends with people who've like recently moved here, she didn't have a good time adjusting to this. And so she was representative in her own way, still as a white, straight woman, of like being a change in this cul-de-sac. And then the next one who comes in is ex-Marine lesbian. And then who
was ready to go to war.
She goes, I have weapons.
She's like, The other lady, Lynn, asked her, she's like, you got something,
You got
don't
stuff from your time? She goes,
And
yeah.
then she's like, yeah, I gotta remember what the code is to that one briefcase.
No, and then they were like, and Naveen's like, I'm gonna kill them. And she goes, oh, you don't, I've got a person. If we want that, we can do that. But then you have all these people who like have felt unwelcome by the cul-de-sac. And this is like the culmination, like the boiling point of like, this isn't just like, you know, being not included or feeling left out or bad vibes. This is like an actual imminent threat. And they're taking it like just very seriously. And so is her husband. But I like to call this moment that she has while looking out the window, it's her Fitzgerald Grant green screen where he's looking out at that and then turns around and goes, no, I'm giving you a button that's ending the episode. We're fucking staying.
Yeah.
We're staying. We're not letting we're not letting a racist man in the suburb send us
Drive
back.
us out.
No. Like, we deserve to be here. I want to be here. There are fireflies here. I want Miles, our son, to experience fireflies. Like, I'm finally liking these people. I'm getting along. This is like, no, he can't take this away from me. Like, we're staying. And her husband is like, okay, we're staying.
This is a great pilot. A great
Fantastic, tight, a very tight pilot.
And a lot happened within it.
And there's so many setups, and it doesn't feel like, I like it when it happens in some shows, but I don't want every show I watch to be like, only the last 5 minutes of the pilot are important. I like that on certain genres or certain times, but like, no, I like it when you have planted enough seeds that makes me like want to watch the next episode, but not feel like I don't understand what's going on or understand the vibe of the show without watching the next episode.
Right.
Like, it's very well formulated, well crafted, good cliffhanger. I gotta say, though, it is a little scary. Like, they are doing a good job with it. I was a little spooked going to bed.
It was spooky. I was upset that I was so tired that I couldn't watch another episode.
Me too.
But I'm in. I'm hooked. I like it. Great pilot.
Absolutely fantastic pilot. I would encourage everyone to watch it. And in general, if you love content, you love TV, even if it is streaming, watch it when it comes out. Watch it quickly. That is like where the numbers really count towards all of that. Saving it for later is like something to do with movies. But if you're enjoying something that you hopefully gets a second season, that is something that you want to watch quicker, earlier.
Yep.
Start it, see it, and then you can watch Ponies after.
All right. What do you rate this?
Oh, I rate this 1 good Meghan. I promise I will change your mind. Actually, 2. Me and the Stallion. We got this. We
and
are doing it. And Markle. And when you had said that Mots had said the thing with the H, and I said, well, you're asking her to pick sides now because her sister and I don't spell her names the same. And he was like, her sister's name's Meghan? I was like, we've been over this. All the M's. Miracle. Come on. And he was like, yes, you're right. But I just would love to introduce some good Meghans in there. Your sister, me, Duchess of Sussex, the Stallion, like, we could throw a wonderful dinner party. We got personality. We got fun. Some of us have ass. Some of us just have personality. And like, I promise we're not all bad. You can trust us. Not all of us.
Not all of you.
Not all of us. I will be the first to say there are some really bad Meghans.
McCain, Kelly, just to name a couple.
The robot.
Not too much on my
Can
girl.
You trust her?
Not too much on my... At the end of the day, she saved a child.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like programmed to be evil. So now
she was programmed to be the little girl's best friend because her parents had died.
Oh, so actually, technically,
and everything that she does is really to protect the little girl.
Oh, so you actually can really trust that Meghan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So put her on the list.
Yeah.
What do you rate it?
I rate it. I was gonna say never trust a Meghan, but I'll rate it, to be kind, is 10 fireflies.
Ugh, did you fireflies growing up?
Mm-hmm. You catch them.
I remember the first time seeing them.
And then I actually looked at it and I said, I actually don't want to catch this.
Did you look at it during the daylight? Because that's not.
No, but just seeing the little legs anyway, no.
Oh, thankfully it was.
I saw a fly shit. I didn't think that I don't know.
Wait, midair?
Yeah, it was in my dining room. And I saw like this white powdery stuff falling out of his ass and landed on my dining room table. I was like, that
How
fly
big
is
was
shit.
the fly?
It was a fat fly.
Yeah, because I feel like you have to know where the butt is to see
Yeah.
that stuff's coming out of it.
You
Whoa.
could literally saw it, and then it landed on the table because the table is dark. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't even know that was
I've
possible.
never thought of it. Never thought of it.
I never thought about how they excrete. Like,
Yeah.
not once ever. Whoa. Speaking of excretion from pests, I got my allergy test back. The only thing I'm allergic to is dust mites, but there's like 7 different kinds of dust mites. I'm allergic to them. I'm allergic to their spit. I'm allergic to their shit. I'm allergic to their breath. I'm allergic to like every different one of that. Nothing else. Only the dust mites. Their skin. Their everything. And I was like, oh.
You gotta get the allergen spray I told you about.
I know. I was telling Moms about that. But like everything is like less than 0.10% for like every other allergen. And then this one is all like 50. Very high. And I was like, oh. Thought you were supposed to grow out of these at a certain point. Nope.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, what are we doing next week?
Oh. You know what I think we should do?
What?
Because I'm going to go see this
Tuscany?
because, yeah.
I'm not going to have time to see it.
No. But that'll be, I think.
After.
Yeah. Okay. I'll think on this. And you let me know if you have any ideas.
Okay. All right. We're watching you. It really goes with this one.
It really does. Yikes.
Bye.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.